So welcome, Ncumisa. I sent out an email. It is Sunday, so people are probably still getting themselves ready and will wander through. But thank you, Fatima and Kanye.
Yes,
You guys are here. So I thought it would be really, really great to have a conversation with you, Ncumisa. So yesterday, we had a conversation with Tebogo. You didn't get to
yes,
sit in on that, and it was quite awesome. Like she shared her debt repayment journey, all of that stuff. And I shared with people that when they sign up for the Money Magic course, they also get to work with you for a month, right? But I wanted to talk
yes,
to you. You have some really interesting insights. In many ways, you get to talk to people more than I do in the Money Magic course. Like people come to you a lot more than they come to me and before they come to me with stuff. So I thought it would be interesting to chat to you and to also learn in the process what are some of people's biggest challenges when they sign up for the course and what you have seen on your end when it comes
yes,
to changing our relationship with money. What are some of the issues, right? So you started off as
yes.
a Money Magic student, though. What made you join the course in the first place?
Yeah. Oh, my journey, I think most people already know. I wanted to improve my relationships. And I was shopping around for a coach because I was never interested in money. But when I heard you speaking, you spoke my language, although it was about money. I just, knew, no, no, no. I want to be part of that. So I was back at home at the time and I decided, let me just give it a shot. And instead of focusing on money, I focus on my relationship with my sister and see how and where that takes me. So that's how I started on this journey.
Oh, wow. And I find that very, very interesting. So, how did it start being about money? At some point, you
Mm.
did start focusing on money. And why do you think I
Very,
love your story, but maybe you
I,
can share why is it that you, as you're focusing, why did you choose to focus on your relationship with your sister? And when did you realize that money was also something that you needed to focus on?
yeah. So in within that space of getting into wealthy money, isn't it? That's the irony of it because at the time I had, for the first time in my life, faced a financial crisis. I was on social grant. I was getting paid SASA for a disability, and for the first time, my kids were also the recipients of SASA because I got sick and then I was pregnant. I got sick, and my doctor's like, "Listen, you need to lay off." I'm like, "How?" So I got into that. The reason why I wanted to focus on my sister because it was the only relationship that I could somehow relate into because this is the very first person I fell in love with. And it because our parents passed on and it drained me that I didn't have the connection. The background, she is biologically my cousin's sister. Our mothers were like twins, they literally like a year apart. So they were very close. And I always admired that relationship and I thought it would come natural for us. Mind we have a 10-year gap, but when they passed on immediately, instinctively, I became a parent. And because of that, I didn't say at the time, I was controlling, I was trying to get her to do things like, why didn't you study? Why don't you do this? Why don't... And it was strange, obviously. And whoa, it broke me. It broke because I was like, now I don't have parents. Now I don't even have a sister. Now I don't have a job. I don't have money. And I do have a kid. I had kids, but their relationship, I don't know. It felt like I needed to focus on the relationship with my sister. It started becoming about money as again, I was focusing more on building relationship with not only just my sister, but with other members of the family, with myself. money story improved by default. That makes sense. So, and then when I started to see, oh, gee, actually, this does work, right? And because I couldn't put it together that I'm not working, but money can still come in. That didn't make sense to me because I've never been in a situation where money came, I didn't work for it, you know? So it that's when it started to be interesting for me. It was like, oh, okay, as I'm working through this relationship, this one is getting improved as well. What would happen if I spend more time nurturing the relationship with money? Because now I want to get out of the gutter. I want to be in the space that I was into. I want to be able to provide for my kids. I want to, let go of Sasa and all of those things. So then I started to have some interest, and I think within 6 months of working on a workman, that's when I got 20 grand. I was like, ooh, girl, no, just like that. And I think it was money from the land that we were waiting for years. It was, but all of it, blue moon, we got 120,000 rand, and we had to divide among ourselves. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. You know, it can happen. So that's how my relationship, my mind started to shift in getting interest into money.
So that's what happened. I love
Wow.
it. So, do you remember what specific lesson? I know that I already know your answer, right? But other people don't know your answer. What is a specific moment or lesson in the course that
I
shifted
doubt it.
everything for you?
Oh, oh, it is. Bank account challenge. Bank account challenge. Nobody can tell me anything. Okay. So when I started focusing on that, I started with the bank account challenge because it was fascinating for me to say I can hold money in my hands and I'll feel something,
Mhm.
right? So I was like, let me give it a shot. And of course this was now when you were also involved with that one red man, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, let's see if this is real. And holding money in my hand literally had my body doing things. I was like, okay, this is this can't be, you know. My body started to shake. Mind you, there was a disassociation with myself and doing the work and my body. So
Mhm.
oftentimes, whenever I would give a fit, I'm like, you sit with the body, sit with the body, sit with the body. Oh, God. What does that even mean? You know?
Mhm.
So when I did bear counseling, biggest shifting, uh, for me, that was it. When I started looking at my bank, it changed how my mentality started to work because it was no longer about what I can afford, how I can
Mhm.
fit in what I need into what I was getting. It was more about what do I desire, you
Mhm.
know, how it was more about me opening to money rather than waiting and receive whatever it is that I'm getting. It was me knowing that I desire it, I can have it, right? And I did know it wasn't about manifestation or anything like that. I wasn't thinking um in because I think a couple of years before I had this what's this book now? Oh, what's this now? But he used to talk about instant gratification, instant manifestation. What's the book?
Oh, is this
What's
the
this book now?
secret?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because I was into the secret book before, and it was different because now it was, oh man, because the secret beat me big time. Because it made me feel so bad about not being able to manifest. Because I'm thinking
Mhm.
about it, I'm visualizing, I'm doing all of these things, I'm having these positive thoughts, and but you know, uh, nothing was changing. With the bank account challenge, it's different. It really gets you to think and look at the values and principles. And one of the biggest things for me that was a core change, it was to sit in and look where I was spending money.
Mm,
So with my example, I couldn't relate with the example of a lover. I took it as a mother.
mm,
If
mm,
I were to take my kids to a boarding school, what it is that I'm looking for. So I use that as, oh, I would want my kids to eat healthy, to have a healthy lifestyle and safe and all of those things. And, you know, so I use that concept to really grow in bank account challenge. Let me tell you something about it before I take 50 hours. Bank account challenge, it gets you think on your own
mm,
because it challenges you to it's not about you sitting there and just get a meditation on it unboxes so many of your traumas that you get to see them right there. It triggers you so much. It triggers you so much, and I think that's why it's made maybe people run away from it. It triggers you so much because you get to see when you look into your bank statement.
mhm.
I don't like this. Why am I spending more time into it? One of the things that I checked in, I was shocked what I was spending more time on airtime. And I
Wow.
said I couldn't afford a Wi-Fi. I was
Yes.
spending about 800 rand on airtime. I was like, there's no way. Because it's 10 rand, it's 5 rand, it's 15, it's 30 rand.
Mm,
Um, so bank account challenge was the key for me. It
mm.
was their cost that really just opened things up for me.
Wow, wow. I love that. And I also, like just being able to learn to sit with things, right? And to sit with your emotions, sit with your bank account. It is a game changer because I know you really, guys, Ncumisa has often said to me, listen, I don't want to hear this money is a love thing. And I get it. But it comes back to whether you're looking at money as a parent, money as a lover. If you have kids and you don't
Yes,
spend time with your kids, how will your kids know you? How does that relationship even work? you know? So that is a big, big
exactly.
thing. So if you don't spend time with your children, how does it work? Most of us, like if you are in a relationship and you're not spending time with your lover, how does that impact your relationship? So it is the same with your relationship with money, right? So, can you share a money win that felt impossible for you before you started the Money Magic course? So, what is a money win apart from what you've shared now, like sitting with money and just like money coming in without you having to work? I feel like that without you working hard. Okay, you can tell us more about that money win. I'm sure everyone's interested in the not working hard and having money. So
Yes. Oh,
share what's a money win that you absolutely thought, nah, this is
ah,
impossible without before this course.
it's not possible. I know. Oh, guys, let me just say, um, it's the simplest answer ever, and it it was me sitting in with the biggest one was me sitting in with myself and ask myself, what are your values? What are your principles? What it is that you want to do? And as I figure out that I only want to work 20 hours a month. And I asked myself, is that even possible for the amount that I needed? And this is when I then started to sit in with my body because my body said, there is no way. You used to work in a day 12 hours and above, and now you want 20 hours in a month, and you want, results. So I had put an amount that I was getting paid in my last job. And I said, I want to achieve these 20 hours in that. And I had to sit in with my body. And I want each, we'll dive deep into that sitting in. But, and then I doubled that in the fourth month, I started the business of coaching. I had double what I was getting paid, 12 hours a day for 6 days a week. I managed to do that in 20 hours, even less than 20 hours, because that 4 hours, like, I'm not working more than it. Doesn't mean that I have 4 hour meetings every week, right? But I managed to double what I used to get paid in as a manager in restaurants. I doubled that in 20 minutes. And that, you can't beat that.
Wow. Wow, that's
So
crazy.
more than money, I gained time.
Wow. So I'm
That's
literally going to ask
insane.
what everybody's probably
That's
thinking.
insane.
Like, how did you do that? Why do you
It is
think
insane.
doing the course? Why would you credit the cost for that? Like, isn't that one of those miraculous things that Vangile is always preaching against, that I am always preaching against? That miraculous thinking, and that like the work is the inner work. Why is the
Exactly.
inner work the key to that, to what you've just told us?
Um, I want to talk about one of the biggest challenges that we face when we do this report to another. And so the biggest thing that this work teaches you is to really group in. Do you know this desire to know, to want to know something, to be intimate with something, to really be intimate with something, whether it's your child, whether it's your lover, whether it's your studies, whether it's your work, just to be intimate with something. I think having that desire to want to be intimate with money, because I remember one time I was like, I don't care about anything now. I just want to focus on my relationship with money, you
Mm,
know? And then I got this. First of all, I was shocked because I had to bleed all of that. I was like, there's no fucking way I can make in 20 hours this amount of money. And I was like, mm-mm, I need to get rid of that. And then I had to sit in, you know, sit in with myself, work in with the womb. And remember, then I didn't know how to sit in. You were preaching, sit in with yourself, sit in with yourself. Like, what is she talking about? You know, I'm sitting in when I'm doing the meditation, but what it is that I really need to do to sit in. So it's when the womb work came through, because then I needed to listen. Here's the thing about this work that I don't think that we're understanding. It's not about you having to understand how money works. It's about understanding how you work. When you are having this course, when you inside the course, some lesson you are getting, how are you responding to that? Why you are acting the way that you? What are these triggers? And another thing is, I think we get excited into know, oh, this triggers me, and then not know what to do with that, right? So once you understand the trigger is just a map to get you to a place,
mm,
right? Once you get into your trigger, then you need to group in. Really try to sit and be intimate with your trigger rather than, and I know, oh God, I'm scared. And trigger, the first response of trigger for me is like, ah, run, you know. However, when we get to that place where we sit in with ourselves, oh, it's a Sunday. These kids are making so much noise. Um, we get time, or when we sit in with ourselves, we get time to really get to know how we operate as humans and how we are in certain situations.
mm,
And then thinking, oh, this is why I am the way that I am. Oh, so this leads to say, I have a vow of loyalty.
mhm,
I've got it through with wealth money, then I go and do the vow of loyalty.
mm,
So it's a matter of you really just give yourself time and don't jump from vow of loyalty. Now there's good enough, then now there's what will now. Sit with that vow. Really just get to understand what it means, genuinely work through, really be with it. I think, oh man, it is saddening me when we don't really understand how this work works.
Mm,
Because then, I mean, we're missing out on really getting the best of it.
mm,
So I
mm,
think the hardest and the most beautiful thing about this work for me has to be what was learning um, to really be intimate with myself
mm,
and the work and be able to just sit with it.
mm. Oh, I love that. That the work, it's not so much about understanding how money works, it's about how understanding how you work. Oh, wow, that's so powerful. Because if you can understand how you work, then you will, and then you
Imagine.
become more cognizant of how you understand how you work with money. That's going to be the shift, right? Because even when you are pricing, when someone asks you for your price, and it's like Deborah was sharing last night, when the corporate came back to her and they were like, you've charged 10 times what other people have charged. Usually, when we are operating from the
Oh,
trauma, we don't want to lose that opportunity, right? We're going like, oh my God, what if I do this?
oh,
What if I do that? And sometimes it's you're so triggered, you haven't done the work on your nervous system. So you're actually, your nervous system is driving that response. So even when you want to stop yourself from responding like that, during the people, right? You're like, I don't want them to know. I want to stop. But it's almost like you're watching yourself outside of a movie, and then you just see your mouth
oh,
moving, lowering your price, and you're just like, what did I just do? But when you have done the work,
ooh,
your nervous system is regulated, right? Because you have worked on you and how you react to money. That's what Debuka is saying. When they came back to her and they were like, you've charged way, way more than other people have charged.
oh,
In some cases, more than 10 times. She was able to just be chilled, to keep quiet and be like, oh, that's interesting. That's literally how she then responded, right? But it's the same thing when you had to hire your price and you had to sit with yourself as a coach, right? And just be with it and really get intimate with your nervous system response to
yes,
higher prices. You had to work on some mother wounds. You had to go deeper on certain things in the course. So I think that's really, really powerful and so important what you've just said.
yes.
You.
And can I add to this and say this is the reason why every month end for me, it doesn't matter how much I'm getting on my bank account. And by the way, because then I get this huge amount, then it's shrink again, and I get nothing, and then I get this huge amount, and then it keep on stretching, and then it goes back a bit, and then it stretch. And when that happens, it really doesn't affect how I spend. I tell you why. Because now I know money comes and go. Money is coming. There
Mm,
is something going on that I need to check in with. It's not because, oh no, I'm not deserving of money. Oh, because now my business is no, it has nothing to do with that. Now I know it's internal. So I'm not really affected how money comes. And again, if if you intimate with yourself, how other people and how other things come into life, they don't get you to react. You
mm,
respond how you respond. You
mm,
don't react. You don't go like, oh, now I'm losing it. Oh, this is. You don't get to be into that extreme because now you are self-regulating. You're like, oh, okay.
mm,
Hmm. And
mm,
if I'm triggered, by the way, when money doesn't come the way I'm expecting money to come, so then I have another net to go and figure out where I need to go heal. It's never about anything or any relationship that is outside of me. It's about me. So when you are doing this work, that's more than money. This is the gold mine I got from this work. That nothing phases me. I mind my damn business. I don't care what you do. My response is my response. I'm the only person who's responsible for it. If
mm.
I'm triggered, that's me.
Yeah.
Same as money, same as anything that needs to come my way. So I'm self-regulated now. That's the one thing. Even if money is not coming for months on end, I'm like, oh God. And then I think, okay, where is the link? Where is the block? What's happening? Because clearly there's something that's happening,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I'm not panicking. I'm not bleeding. Whatever it is that is already coming, and I check in. Where,
Yes,
you
yes.
know? So
Ooh, I
that's what it
love this. What an important conversation. Because I think so
is.
much of what we think happens in our lives, it's so much, what I'm hearing is this is about empowerment and taking back your power. And literally, what trauma is, another definition of trauma
Mm,
that I always forget to mention is that trauma is anything that leaves you feeling powerless, right? So most of us have been left to feel so disempowered in various situations of our lives and even with money. So when you start working on healing your trauma, this is what it looks like, right? Is that like you're saying, I started to feel empowered, started to feel powerful. And because of that, I started to change my responses to money. And as I started to change my responses, I started to change my approach to business because I'm no longer feeling powerless, right? So I know I can
yes,
change my business. I've got the power to do that. And as a result, I have the power to change my finances. I think this is very similar to what Teboho also
yes,
mentioned yesterday, right? And I think this is what healing does. We don't talk enough about that, that this is not just about the magic. The magic is within. You are the magic. You become the magic,
yes,
right? Because you start to work with yourself. And that is the power of the course, I think. And I love how you've articulated this. Ngumi, thank you so much. So, next question. Let's talk about your journey as an assistant coach. How did you come to be a journey how did you come to take on the role of assistant coach for wealthy money, right? And what does that role entail exactly?
yeah. Yeah, this one, I can't say by chance. When we started doing, um, you you mentioned something about womb work because at that time I was shopping for a womb coach. Like, there's something I didn't even know what a womb coach was, but there was something about it. I remember talking to one of my best friends, like, nah, I need a womb coach. And Karen was like, why don't you do it yourself? I'm like, what is she talking about? And then later on, I was still in the village at the time, and you mentioned that there's Womb Wednesday. I was so confused. I'm like, ah. So I started to work as a blogger, as a womb on Womb Wednesday, and it was just to share my experiences on what was happening with my body as I'm going through the process of doing the work, because I was so disconnected with my body that when you say sit with my body, sit with your body, I didn't understand what that meant. So I started then sitting in and just for hours and didn't know what it was to sit for hours and then started asking myself questions. And when I started to get answers, I was like, okay, this is insane. I don't know if these answers are coming from me or it's just wishful thinking, but I started to journal them now. And the more I do this and the more I connected with the work. And then I will start to feel my body. So, but I will scan myself. So then, what does your body feel? I'm like, yo, I don't know what that meant. So I will sit with my body and scan my body. And then I will share that on the blogs, right? And then the next thing I knew, we were doing this onboarding, right? We didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what it was at the time. But like, okay, we've got discovery calls. We're doing discovery calls. Um, I was such a special. I healed a lot with that. When I spoke with other people, when I spoke with other women, the excitement that somebody else will benefit, somebody else will get what I was getting. And I was so happy to do that. I think this is the first time I really started getting out of my shell. I was very excited to do it because one, I got to share with people what is my journey with wealth money. I got to share what I was going through, what was happening, and it was so funny because whenever I share this with you, and then I'll come back and then we'll talk about a certain client, and you say, "Oh, I felt that the same way." That built so much trust into me because then I said, "Oh, I'm not crazy. If she can feel the same way, that means, well, I'm not crazy, right?" So we started like that, and I remember one time I was so sure that wealth money has a life of its own because I remember saying to you, I think there are guides for wealthy money alone because I swear I hear whispers about what needs to be done with the wealthy money. And this is when people will call me and say, listen, I don't know. I think Bunny is too busy. I'm like, I will. Oh, when did she say she's busy? But I understood. I understood. So this is when I started interacting with more clients, and they were like, "Oh no, can you ask one for this?" I'm like, "You can actually go to the course and say what came up, and she will answer." And that's when I think it grew from there to me starting coaching. Again, all of this happened organically because none of this was
I
really
think
planned.
Enzo, someone is in front of your camera. Ncumisa has little kids, guys. So if you're seeing
Yeah,
shadows
sorry.
pass through the camera, she's got a little 4-year-old who is very, very her own
Can
person.
you see? Can you see? In their room. You think hiding here is the best place to hide, but no.
So I'm used to it, but I just wanted to tell you guys if you're seeing her go up and down, it's really cool. She's a very cutie, she's such a cutie pie, but very strong-willed. You know, these
Ah,
kids of
no.
this generation, she can't be told what to do.
I that one that one will teach me things that I'm not sure that I'm ready for. But yeah. Um.
So let me quickly just recap something. So when you was talking about the blog, I would wake up on Sundays and literally message certain Money Magic students and say, would you like to do Womb Wednesdays? We used to have something called hashtag Womb Wednesdays in the group. Um, and we would have this whole process where we learn about the womb. And I would hire people and I would pay them a stipend. And one day I asked Ncumisa to do that. And it was really, really incredible, right? Where you're learning all about your womb and understanding yourself. And then from there, I woke up one day and I said, hey, I just got guidance that I should hire you for wealthy money and she should do onboarding, what is known as client onboarding in the coaching space, which means that, especially because at the time I was traveling so much, right? So when I'm traveling and someone wants to have a discovery call with me, they probably have to wait until I'm settled somewhere, right? And so now my whole thing is, so when Ncumisa came on board, people could just book discovery calls whenever, right? And they had someone that could talk to them at any time. So that went really well. And then, like Ncumisa shared, people just started assuming that I was too busy for them, right? Which is not true. I would be posting, I would be
Yeah.
traveling, I
So
would be
funny.
doing things, and I would say openly to people, message me, whatever. And I guess people would be like, no, we're disturbing you, right? And I just found it easier to go directly to Ncumisa. And Ncumisa then started automatically taking on this coaching role. Then I was like, what if I mentor you to be an assistant coach for Wealthy Money? You already do the work in such a deeper way because, like, I think some of the best people to be coaches are not, it's great if things come easy for you, right? But I truly believe that
Mm.
one of the reasons why I'm able to talk in depth ad nauseum about money, do a 7-day tapping into ancestral money wisdom training around paying off debt, and I understand how hard it is to call a creditor, is because I have walked that journey, right? I
Yeah.
know how challenging it is. And she knows how challenging it is to do the meditations, to sit and feel into your body, to then learn to feel into your womb, to connect with your womb, to look at your bank account, to really increase your pricing, all of these things. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. People are already asking you. And when you hold space for them and you teach them, and then people would go to a lesson. I give people 6 lessons for 6 months. People always want to jump from pillar to post because they see all the many
Yeah.
lessons in the course and they go, oh no, I'm missing this, I'm missing that. But when Ncumisa is coaching them for a whole month, because she's been through that journey, she can literally say to someone, you're going to keep doing the vow of loyalty meditation for a whole month, and we're going to sit with it and help a person break through from that, right? Why? Because she has done it. She had to learn to do it. And she understands that most times people are jumping from pillar to post because they don't want to feel their emotions. Someone thinks, what I'm feeling in the vow
Yeah.
of loyalty is too intense. Let me try something, it will be easier. Ganti, no, like actually, it's not going to be
You can sit
easier. And
there.
the reason why it's intense is because I asked you to do that because that's where your stuff is, right? That's why it's so intense. Because maybe I go and I do another meditation right
Yeah.
now, like the spirit of money meditation. It's not as intense for me, right? But I tell someone to do a spirit of money meditation for a whole month and they get upset, they get angry, it's so intense, things are coming up, they don't want to deal with it. They want what the other person is having when they do the spirit of money meditation, which is
Yeah.
not as intense. That's because the other person is probably struggling with another meditation in the course that is showing them flames because that's where their issues are, right? We always want what is easier sometimes, especially when it comes to sitting with our bodies, right? But Ncumisa understands this, and that's why I think she's just incredible as a coach for the course to help you better understand the course, really go deeper in it. And also because she understands embodiment. What she's been talking about is embodiment, really working with the self, right? We're not, and she's also walked that journey of wanting to manifest, not manifesting. And now she understands that at a deeper level. So that's why I was like, please come on as a money magic coach because it just needed to be more official since people were going straight to her. But that being said, Ngumi, what does your role actually entail?
Yeah.
When people sign up for the course and then I send them your way, what happens? I actually don't know what happens, by the way, guys, so I'm equally as clueless. What happens in that first month? What are you doing with people?
Oh, um, the first month, let me say, this is more common than we will people will actually believe. The first month, one of the biggest challenges, except for the jumping from one course to another, is people really having an understanding what it is to sit with your feelings. So the very first thing that I do with the womb work, um, so I incorporate the womb work with the tools of money. So what he essentially, the first thing people are so dispatient, or rather, we sit in with the body. So where you scan in your entire body, we start with your head, and where you can just identify what's happening with your body. And I will advise people to do this 5 minutes when they wake up or 5 minutes before they go to sleep. Just take time and just scan your body, see what's happening. Because here's the thing, because you're sitting and feeling it, is being happening. The only thing that you now, the reason you can see it now is because you are observing it. So we walking around with locked jaws and we're not aware of it. We're walking around with headaches or with
Mm.
noises or with tingling into our body every single day, and we are not aware of it. So when you start being aware of your body, it's when your body will intensify and spend, and oh, okay, she's spending more time with me, paying more attention to me, and your body will start to communicate with you. Not that your body never communicated with you. It's just that when the body communicates, we don't listen because nobody talks to. So the very first thing that we're focusing on is really just listening to the body. And then when we do the session, say you're doing the vows of loyalty, as you're doing vows of loyalty in the meditation. So when we're done with that, and then I'll say, sit in. What does that mean? Scan your body. When you are into it, scan your body. Feel how you see how your body is feeling. Ask questions. Don't worry about answers. Don't worry about anything. Just keep on asking a question because your subconsciousness, again, will go and say, oh, she asked this question. Let's go find out what's going on. Right? And most of the time, you'll be washing the dishes and the answers will come. Right? Or a question will pop in, or a realization will pop in. And in that way, it's more so on
Okay,
learning to
Umi,
the
I'm going
womb.
to
And
ask
with
you
our
to
womb, we're
repeat.
telling ourselves that, okay,
Sorry, we lost you there where you said one day you'll be washing the dishes and the
okay,
ancestors will come.
okay. So one day you'll be, okay, so one day we watch the and the realization comes in, or a question pop up, or a question get answers, you know? So I don't really say you need to find the answer, you need to do this. All I'm saying is just observe. So
Mm,
the first month really, and remember before it wasn't just 1 month, it was 3 months. So the
mm,
first month is you sitting in and observing your body, how you actually do things like that, because this is where the biggest challenge is for wealth money students.
yes.
That I have seen that we have one thing in common: we all struggle
Mm,
with the listening to the body. We
mm,
don't know what that means. So that's the biggest thing that we do on that month, to really learn about your womb. What is womb? You
mm,
know?
mm.
And most of the time, people will ask about stones or things. I'm like, girl, not that kind of a womb coach. There are various, with the various, and there's a lot of them. I am an emotional one. So we check in with your emotion. I know nothing about no stones. When I need stones, I go ask from the experts. So so when people talk about womb work, and again, what it is that we learn about womb work, they really think that we're focusing on to steaming, yoni, whatever. But we are learning how to how are my jaws connected to my womb, yeah,
Mm,
to my pelvis. How the emotions that I'm feeling in my womb, how to listen to myself in different times and circle into my time, into my circle, right?
mm,
So, but in because we don't have enough time. But I must say, most of the time, the students will extend that maybe to 6 months so they can get the guidance. So
yeah.
in that time, that's what we're learning, to connect with the womb again.
Mm.
And silence, must I say. When we say sit and silent, people don't know. And very important. Yeah, forgot, almost forgot. We have this misconcept about meditation. Oh, this is a big one. We think to meditate is to, I don't want to think about anything. I'm chasing away all my ghosts and everything is to be empty. I absolutely would say just watch everything, observe. Don't try not to think. Do not fight yourself, because you will get zero results. You'll get frustrated. You won't want to do it, and so much will come up,
Mm,
right? When you are in silence, that means you, the one who's silent and listening to your entire body.
mm,
It will be your body that will be silent,
mm,
not you silencing your body.
mm, mm, mm.
Have I lost you again?
No, I'm right here. I'm listening.
Okay, okay. No, no, it was stuck on my side. So, uh, um, that's another thing to meditation is. I think we have it's the biggest one, because everybody's like, yeah, I can't keep quiet, or I can't, like I can't not think, I cannot. I said, just observe it all.
I
Just sit
say
in with
that
it.
all the time in the
That's
guided
what meditation is.
meditations.
Just sit in with it. And
I say focus on your body, but people want to see things and people will freak out. This is why
yeah,
we have Ncumisa as a as like a coach, right? Because I realize that when people join, we all have our pre-assumptions about certain things, right?
yeah,
I don't know what it's called, preconceptions, pre-assumptions, whatever. Guys, this week I'm at that point where my brain doesn't fully remember words. I'll be better in a few days, right? So, really and truly, it's all about these assumptions that we come with. And
yes,
when people do the meditations, because they do go deep, and I say to people in the meditations, focus on your body. What often happens is someone comes to a fireside chat, they share in the meditation, I saw this. Another person is like, wow, your grandmother came through, you saw this, you got the answers. I did the same meditation, Vangile, and I saw nothing, so I must be doing it wrong. We are so very, very different. One person saw one thing, you felt something else. We receive information differently,
yes,
right? So that's what the meditations are meant to do. They're meant to help you in that regard, right? So
yes.
that's why Ncumisa becomes so important on your journey to in the Money Magic course, right? And I love that, Ncumisa. Ooh, this is awesome. I see Kanye saying that she's so glad she joined. Mizo says she's missed you at Womb Wednesdays. But very, very interesting. Just out of
Oh,
interest,
thank you.
how has supporting other students deepened your money transformation and your understanding of money and trauma?
First of all, when we do this work, it heals me. I often say to my clients, and I have long-term clients, I say, guys, you actually paying me to heal, because each session is a mind-blowing session. Like oh, like this work, it makes me so. So what has changed with me during the work is it made me understand my body more, right? Because as I'm sitting with you and I'm doing the work, it opens so much of the question I didn't have. When I set it out, I and this is why I prevent using big words like ego. It's that's a big word for me, because I don't know what there's this thing like, oh, my ego is too much, and I'm like, okay. Every part of my being is
Mm,
as important as everyone. So when my subconscious needs a a, a healing, when my subconscious is louder than my womb, I don't dismiss it, and I what is as important that I'm working with, and I realize that in order for me to reach the womb, I first need to work with your subconsciousness.
mm,
So we start there. And also, I realized that there's no one way to get to your womb. There's no one way to listen to your womb. There are people who would not, as loud as the womb will be, they will just refuse to listen to them,
mm,
right? Because it's a foreign concept,
mm,
right? It's not something that um, you were brought up to understand. So they fight themselves. So I'd rather betray myself than to listen to this. There is different parts of us, and it's okay to start wherever is comfortable or where you are led. And that is womb work, by the way. Because if your womb says, sis, I'm not, no, you better go with that subconscious, because I'm not going there. She
mm.
ain't listen to anything I say. So work with this person. And I'm like, oh, she's got a big ego. I'm like, there's a lot of habits that we pick. When we Habits are part of us that protect us up until now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why we had developed them, because at the time it was proven that if I do this, I stay alive, right? So rather than fighting to start there, let's work with that. So
Mm,
one of the biggest thing about work has taught me that it doesn't the body. Some people is like, I can't do nothing. I just need to work with your body. I
mm,
just focus on the body. Let's do body work. Let's focus on the
mm,
body work. So this is what I've learned. There's no one way or even a shortcut to do this. Let's start where your body say, let's listen to yourself, let's listen to your body, where your body wants to start,
mm,
right? And work through with that with your womb, not against it. So I have this thing now of I'm making fear my friend rather than my enemy,
mm,
right? So when I fear something, I'd rather now befriend that, you know, than to fight myself through that. And I think I'm just trying to find an explanation that would make sense.
mm,
When I fear to get in a car and drive off this car, because I can see, ooh, instead of me sitting here and doing the work and watch the car go and say, yeah, I've done the work. I get in the car as in my fear, jam myself in the car and then experience that fear and do healing while I'm in the car. So I'm not in the side way. I am part of the healing. So that's the hardest that
mm.
we have found. Because then people do the work. There are people who are really doing the work. They show up, they're doing the work. But then again, they're not jumping in that. So it's intellectual, right? The people who
Mm.
are doing this intellectually, it's like, yeah, I do this. And like you say, they want to see results rather than experience and just be part. This work is about being, not something that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bon.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm just responding to Fatima. Fatima, thank you for joining us. Please, by all means, go break the fast. Happy Eid. Oh, well, happy Ramadan, actually. Sorry. Enjoy. Yeah, it's definitely sunset now. In other parts, Cape Town still definitely afternoon. So, Numi, almost just two more questions. What's the one thing you wish more
yeah,
people knew about the Money Magic course?
yes. What? Yours? Can you
What's
repeat that?
the what's the one thing you wish people knew about the Money Magic course?
Ah, that is it's five things in one. It's hundred, it's million things in one, right? What I would love people to know is honestly, everything you need is there. Everything you need. So it's just a matter of um, you want to do the womb work is there. You want to do the body work is there. You want to do tantra is there. You want to do um, money work is there. You want to heal your family is there. So what people I want people to know about wealth money is you overall heal yourself and you've got enough tools to do that. You want to astral work, it's there. And it doesn't matter. And another thing that I would love people to know about this course has nothing to do with religion. Because there's this biggest misconcept when I was doing the discovery call, like how is this gonna affect my church? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with self-development and you getting to know who you are. Let's just get that. It's
Mhm.
about you and you connecting with yourself on the deeper level. so that you can be able to relationship with everybody else and with money,
Mm,
any energy for that matter, because it doesn't end just with money. It ends with you having a best relationship with your family, with your business, with just life generally.
mm,
So
mm,
these are the one thing that I really, really wish people know about it.
Thank you for that. Now, my last question to you is, if someone is on the fence about joining the Money Magic course, what would you say to them? Someone's just done the 7-day training. They've seen incredible shifts and had an amazing aha moments, and they're still on the fence and wondering, is this really worth it?
What you waiting for? Just do it. I mean, what it is that you're gonna lose anyway? Just do it. I would say if you are on the fence, please sit down and read just what are you intending to do with the course. Because I think that's one thing. If you know why you want to do it, it will not be I'm sitting on the fence. There is no way you'll be sitting on anything when you know what's your intention. Ask yourself, what's my intention about joining Wealth Money? Because I think that's one of the things that I used to ask. So it becomes very clear to you what it is that you want to do with it. And once you know, oh, I'm there to heal this, because like I said, I was here to heal my relationship with my sister. That's important to me. What your intention are. If your intention is important to you, then what are you waiting for? Join in. And you might feel more than that. There's no might about it. You will feel more than that, whatever that intention is.
I really, really love that. Wow. So, wow, Ncumisa, you've given us so much to think about. I know I roped you in a few days ago. Would you like to do an interview on Sunday at 5 p.m.? Thank you for taking the
Uh,
time to share your experiences, to share about what you do as a coach, to share your journey with us. And guys, Ncumisa is always available. One of the first things you do when you sign up for the Money Magic course is you do get a month of coaching with her. So you will be going through a lot of the stuff, and she's got so much wisdom. I'm sure you guys can see. And what I love is that her wisdom is down to earth. It's not anything that is so where you feel like you need to be a guru or vibrate at a particular
oh no.
frequency, as people say, to get this wisdom. Because I think that we can all agree that sometimes we just want someone that can say, this is what it means to sit with your emotions. This is what it means to feel your emotions. We are so often taught in the
Yeah.
personal development field, feel your emotions, become positive and happy, but do all these things. But nobody tells you how to actually do some of these things because it's considered basic, but it's not true, you know? So when I teach clients and money magic students to breathe,
No.
we hear things like breathe into your womb. What does that mean? You know, like we teach people that stuff because it's
Mm,
not taken for granted that we all understand what even that means. Because, like I said, some of the best
yeah.
teachers, I believe, are the ones that struggled with a thing. It's not the ones for whom a thing came so easily. And definitely a lot of things didn't come easily for me that I teach in this work, which is why I go so in depth, because I understand that some things may be easy for other people. And then there's the
Yeah.
other 50% of us in the world who are like, I need to know what the hell it means to be in my body and to sit with my body. Everybody else seems to get it. Everybody else is pretending to get it, right? And yet
Yes.
I'm the only one out
Pretending.
here going like, what the hell is going on here? What are people talking about with sensations and sitting in the body and being able to feel what's
Oh,
happening in my tummy? What the hell? Anxiety in my tummy, what is that? Right? And how the hell does this impact my finances? So If that's where you are and you are thinking to yourself, for me to join this course, I need to be at a particular level. No, you don't. That's why
Yeah.
this course was created. It's created for you to come
Yes.
as you are, where you are, and we will work with you from where you are. And as we shared yesterday with Deboho, there are fireside chats, so you will get access to me twice a month in coaching. Get access to Ncumisa, you get access to the course, and I am bringing back the group feature, so you'll get access to me on a daily basis through that real soon. Thank you, Ncumisa. Okay,
All
Misa,
right.
you had a
So
question or observation?
it's not a question, it's an observation of
Yeah.
mine, right? Remember, I signed up for Money Magic course in 2017, yeah, immediately after
Yeah.
the workshop at the Apartheid Museum. And last year, when I lost my sister, right, I am
Oh yeah.
finding that um, the mother wound has become so incredibly powerful in a different way because she's passed and because there's a money story there, right?
Yes.
I've got a new, uh, shall I call it a new wound to work with, and a new fear and a new anxiety because she's got two kids. They are my niece daughters, if you want to call them that, and there's Neo. So I've got a new, but my anxiety has changed into something else, and I have this huge, huge, deep appreciation of Akashic records and
Mm.
motherhood, and especially the vow of loyalty. Or
Oh.
and this fear of not wanting to expand beyond my sister, expand beyond my mom.
Mm,
Or and now I have this sudden agency of expansion, right? So
mm,
I'm just
Mm.
noticing because we did tapping last week. I told you that it almost felt like I'm bouncing off the walls. So I've got a new agency. Maybe it's not an anxiety as such. I'm
Mm.
trying to mother everything now. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. So there's this like it's huge, guys. It's like every time I do a new meditation, I'm like, I've never had this meditation before. I never had it this way before. So I did Mother Wound
Yes.
Baby for about 7 days, beginning of January.
mm,
And it felt
Wow.
like a different meditation. I
mm,
did I did and then Van was talking about something about the divine, and she was talking on a TikTok video. And I'm like, let me just go to the divine meditation. Maybe I'm just seeing, but I'm almost wanting to cover everybody, everything. And now it's a sudden thing. Hey, it feels like I've never felt like this before because I don't know this feeling. So
Yes.
and you're talking about womb work. When we did the tapping on Wednesday, let me see, I mustn't say Wednesday because I was already 2 days behind the tapping. I did day 3 on my own, and that tapping just had this, it released a flood of this fear, anxiety, excitement, or agency, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, right? I'm still sitting with it. I'm just sharing it here because it's a new thing, that a death of someone that I am so totally linked with and intertwined with has changed how I see expansion and money and how I want to expand. And
Yes.
now my reason for expansion is a totally different one. So I don't have the fear of expansion in the same way that I had, but I do have an anxiety. Yeah, that I have to acknowledge. Yeah. Anyway,
mm.
that was a new observation. I just thought this is so important because when someone is doing this work and they think maybe I've done this meditation before, shut it down, and you don't have
Yeah.
to repeat it. You repeat it for a different reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you
Mm.
shared that, Mizo. Obviously, it's like the meditations won't be the same. Even the issues that come up in the mother wound or any meditation, if you have changed, your circumstances have changed, you will
Yes.
not even get the same ancestors coming into the meditation to guide you. Because maybe the ones that were dealing, like I was really shocked recently that with my vow of loyalty, my uncle is coming through more. He's never really come through in any of my work before. And I'm just like, wow, where, how, what the hell is going on, But here we are, right? Because I'm like, wow, I am fully expecting my mother's stuff to keep coming through because that's what I've been working on. But when that is done, remember you are carrying
Yes.
so many of your ancestor stuff. So when you clear one layer, the other layers start to come to the surface. The other layers start to come to the surface. So this is why I also say to people, when you're doing the 7-day training, you're going to have to do the EFT tapping a few times. More things are going to come up. So when you come back
Yeah.
to the meditations, new things are going to come up. So I love that you said that. But also, you know what I love is that you said, I'm feeling something. It's a flurry of emotions. I don't know what it is. And that you are still
Wow.
sitting with it. Oh my God, if that's not the realest thing.
Yeah.
Because often
Yeah.
people that are not in the money magic course, right, will come to me and say, I am feeling this, based on the live that you said, this is definitely what I'm feeling, and this is how I'm responding. So what you said you were feeling in that live is what I must be feeling. And I'm like, no, sometimes you don't even know what you're feeling. There are emotions right now that I'm just like, I know I'm feeling in my body, but for months, I don't have words for it. I can just feel. And that for me shows me that you are doing the work, right? Because you are not trying to find a label for the thing. You are just
Yes.
with it and you're
Yeah.
able to be with it for months and observe. And that is
Yeah.
part of the healing process. And you're
Mm.
okay with it. And the beauty of it is you have the tools. So I
Mm.
love that. So guys, this
Yeah.
is why also the course is lifetime access, right? So you just shared
Yeah.
from 2017. And how many breakthroughs have you had, Mizo? How many iterations have you had on the
Oh my
course?
God.
And yet you still keep coming back, right?
This is my thing, and it is all different in each year. The bank challenge, the bank account challenge, I kept saying, I don't know, I've done it 6 7 times, because when the bank balance changes, and as it changes, you seem to get new excitement or new anxieties. More
Yes.
money comes with more anxiety. The bigger the debt, even when it's good debt, makes you anxious in a different way. It's incredible. But this one was such a surprise. I know you said tapping into the ancestral, but my sister, because in my head I think her of my sister. I haven't even placed her in the ancestor. So it's hilarious how I think about her, and I'm just like,
Yes.
no, she can't be an ancestor, because I'm in denial of her absence this side of life, right? So I
Yeah.
can't even see her in the ancestral plane. And there she was. And it has just brought this huge, I've been teary. We took Gege to the airport, my niece. I was tearful. I'm just tearful, right? I'm tearful, and
Wow.
not tearful in pain, but I'm tearful. Very, very,
Yeah.
yeah. Even now, it's just like, yeah. But
Wow.
very exciting, that tapping, hey? Phew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, also, Maizo, what we don't talk about enough is the survival of those who are left behind. How do we survive after the passing of the others? Others uh, will be consumed with guilt, and others will be ashamed that they're the one who are alive. Others will think so many things. And when we go through the process of grieving,
Mm,
Yeah.
we we emerge differently. You
Yeah.
can never be the same again because you experience something. And also there's gratitude. Oh my God, I'm still alive. And I know that I battle a lot with that
Oh,
uh, to an extent that I was like, yo, this this overwhelming emotion, it cannot be okay. But I now I understand what it is because when you the one who survived, you are left with so many emotions.
oh, I
You know,
see. I like that.
yes,
That's just, that's another layer, right? I didn't know.
Survivor's
It's like
yes,
guilt.
guilt.
It's
Yeah.
also tied to
yes.
loyalty if you think
There's a lot.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
deep
It's a,
loyalty. It comes back to this thing that if I am in your family and we are family, we should all
yeah.
be going through the same thing. I cannot abandon you to your pain. We share the load of pain. We share the load of loyalty, right? So we are loyal to each other
Yes,
that way. So survivor's guilt is it's really real. It's the same guilt that we feel about the fact that we are thriving. So the next layer
it
that
is.
come up for you, Mizo, is that wait, when you expand to a particular level and you start to really thrive, is that wow, my sister never got to these levels of
My
expansion,
God.
right? So that will have to be releasing that loyalty to her to just, and it's going to feel painful. It's going to feel like a betrayal.
Mm,
But the truth is, for us to live, for us to move on,
it
we have to be
does.
able to say, I am loyal to you. It's great. Like I was loyal to you,
Oh,
but the loyalty no longer serves me to be able to.
yeah. Oh my God.
So there's going to be a
And
lot of
can I add this as well,
loyalty. It's
Miser?
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, can I also add this with this survival, ne?
Yeah.
So this is another thing. You know, with Miser with your kid, ne? She
Yeah.
also has own money that comes through you, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to sit when you sit with this and be open that expansion will also come through your nieces because they
Yeah.
also will bring their own the bacon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying this because this is what I experienced, and Van and I were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
When I had this thing of taking care of my family, and I know I with my nephew, I
Yeah.
always wanted to do certain things for him,
Yeah.
and whenever I need something for him, money will come through.
Sure.
So I will have this immense of I want to expand so that this happens. This so you
Yeah.
must also understand all of this wanting to expand. You also want to take care of of them. And what was I want to say? Gosh, sometimes I get this strange thing where
They are presence.
I'm
They
going
are
somewhere and
presence.
then I lose it along the way. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like just the expansion itself to sit with it separately. Like,
Yeah.
where is this expansion coming from and this excitement for it?
Yeah.
And open yourself to it. Now, I was going to ask my sister, listen, I'm going to be taking care of them. Their money needs to come as well. You know, I
Yeah.
need maintenance. I did say that to my late dad. I said, I need maintenance. Don't you think it's time to maintain me? You'll never give me anything. Never, ever, ever in your life. Now you're on the other side. Don't you think it's time that you open your purse, just to maintain me? So I know with expansion, there's a lot going on the background that we're not even
Yeah.
aware of. Girl, your
Wow.
sister wants the best for her kids too.
Yo.
So I know that you want the best for them. As much as you're gonna be fighting yourself on the journey, I just sitting with that expansion and knowing there are many other possibilities that the expansion also might have in their own energy wanting to expand. And because you're the one who is going to take care of them now, their expansion will be channeled through you.
Through me. Oh my God.
Mhm.
I am flawed.
Possibilities,
Do you see?
possibilities. Possibilities. This makes me so excited. Right?
Wow.
Like possibilities.
Yeah.
What else can
And
happen? How else can we just open your mind to possibilities?
Mm. And also just working, I think as you heal now, right, Mizo, there are
yeah.
things that your sister couldn't hear in this
Yeah.
lifetime. But as you start to heal and you ask her the questions and she comes through in the meditations on the other side, you can
Yes.
help her heal. And now this is why I think what Ngumi is also talking about becomes so important is that
Yeah.
you don't have to do it alone. These are also her children. So as you help her heal, you also help her on the other side do her work to help whatever needs to happen for her to
Yeah.
make money for her children. So she also works with them directly and works with you, right? And as we're talking, it makes me think of the Maya Angelou quote of I come as one, but I stand as one, but I come as 10,000, right?
Mm,
So you're
mm,
actually coming with your sister right now. So you guys can actually you not just doing the work
Mm.
for yourself. So if she
Mm.
comes through in the meditation, you take her
mm,
on the journey, right? You ask
mm,
her the same questions that are coming up. You
mm,
work with her, you hold her a space for her to heal. That's what healing ancestral trauma is, right?
mm,
Now an ancestor, she gets to heal. And as she heals, it's also her job to also show up for her kids and
mm,
Yes.
mm,
go
mm,
into
mm,
their
mm,
dreams,
mm.
do what she needs to do. It can't just be you.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And
Yes.
it just feels that's exactly what it
You're not
is.
alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
phew, yeah, that day three is yeah.
day three
I
is a
was
hard day.
I wasn't, and I didn't think it was hard. I saw it after when I'm journaling that I've got, I wrote about fear, I wrote about anxiety, I wrote about excitement, I wrote about expansion, all in the same. And it almost felt gook at the time, right? So as you're talking, Ncumisa, it's just like,
Mhm. Mm.
oh, because whatever wasn't done in her plane, it can still be done here through me. Oh my God, that's so
Yes.
scary. Okay. Hmm.
It can
Yeah.
still be done. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
It's being
yes.
done. It's not it can still. It's being done. I can just sense this whole excitement. I'm almost wanting to switch on the volume or switch on the speed.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
Let the
Wow.
exciting come, girl.
I mean, you get to
Thank you for
ask.
sharing that. Yeah.
I think most people don't realize this, but you get to ask for certain things. Like Lumis, I can tell you, I didn't know that day three would do this to people because remember me when I went
Ooh.
on and I told you in Nomveli, so I was like, well, my uncle has decided to show up for this class too late. It was like a few minutes before the class, and I was like, it's gonna be all systems go. I don't have time to be talking to ancestors to go back where they come from. We are going into class now. In the live class,
Yeah.
he wants to help co-teach the class. So that's also why day three is such an intense day. It was just, again,
Yo.
you can show up with your people, right? You can get help
Mm,
from your people.
mm,
And when
mm,
they show up in the space, it feels different. That's why that day has a different energy to it.
mm.
And I try not to do that with free trainings, but this was really, it just caught me by surprise. That's
But
why I went
Vangile,
I
listen
on.
to
I
what
can.
happened also. Remember,
Yo.
I even journaled on the group because it woke me up at 20 past 2.
Yeah.
Yo.
I was so alert.
It was
I decided
insane.
let me catch up with the tapping because I had missed. I'd done day 2 on day 3, and then I was doing day 3 on day 4 in the morning, and I slept at 3:30. After I had done it, my body was like, cool, sharp. Now you can go back to bed.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
you
You'll be
guys.
fine,
I
Lisa. You're
normally
doing
don't even go
well.
to these. Yeah, but I had this thing, oh my, it had to be done, and I thought I was late. I don't know what I was doing, but and then I saw Bangla saying that, oh, I'm getting ready for the meeting. I'm like, oh shit, it's when I jumped in, I was like, oh, I knew it. And by this time, I wasn't talking about money or healing money for 2 months, and this was the first day I came back to money. Ah, he hit me. I was like, oh, finally. Because I was like, can we take it easy? We just got a break from the course.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, it's the first day I'm coming back. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into it, and then he hit me. Long was I shaking. I couldn't sleep.
Mm,
I had to do womb work. I sat with my womb. I was like, can you just can you just process already? Because I'm not gonna sleep
mm,
until this is processed. It was so hectic and so heavy, but
mm.
it shifted a lot.
Yeah.
So it shifted a. Can I say it shifted a lot that I got a response from a potential client? I was like, okay, because we also had a conversation the next day, and then we realized, well, I had blocked money altogether, and I was
Mm,
like, oh, come on, man. Come on,
I
come on.
messaged
It
Ncumisa
had to
on
say
day
if it is a
4.
God wound.
I messaged her
okay.
the next day, Misa, and I said to her, Ngumi, was it just me or was day 3 just a hectic class? Like, I feel like it just
Mm,
did a lot to me on a physical and spiritual level to lead that class. And then she was like, let me tell you. Because I was like, let me see if it's in my
mm.
head.
Phew,
The
I am
last time I
just
won't be
floored.
inviting my
I was just about to
uncle.
text her when she said me that because I was like, yo, I wanted to do those nights. She has no
Mm.
chill, no chill. The one day I decide, okay, let me join you on live. Yo, guys, I'm regular. Sometimes I was like, yo,
You
Ramazana,
almost feel
no.
like, okay, I chose the wrong day. You know, Mina, for me, it was like I'm trying to catch up because there I am. That means I had sinusitis. So I had slept, I had fell asleep very early because I took something for my blocked sinuses and the headache. So when I woke up at past 2, I was
Okay.
wide awake, and I was like, anyway, I hadn't done my evening meditation. Let me catch up with class, and I go and meet up with
Yo,
day 3. Yeah, so that was powerful in its own way. I wasn't
yes,
gonna tell you
it
that
was
I
beautiful.
had this mix up
It was
mangalmus
very
of
beautiful.
emotions. Yeah, but yeah, it was just brought up by this womb work that you were talking about now. But thank you, ladies. It's been real, been
Thank you,
amazing.
Izo. Thank you, Nguli. I'm gonna put this into the recording
Into the okay.
so people can get value. Thank you, guys, and thank you for showing up for the 7-day Tapping into Ancestral Money Wisdom Training. This
Yeah.
training has changed so dramatically from where it was in 2021. I'm deleting it again. I'm deleting
Yeah,
the original, I think, and keeping this one that I feel this is what the 7-day training was always meant to be. This current training, this is what the
yeah.
7-day training was always meant to be, not what I've been doing over the last few years.
Yo, it's amazing. It's very
Yeah.
powerful, but I must say, and I want to go back to it over and over again.
Oh, thank you, Ngumi. Thank you, Mizo. Have a fantastic Sunday, guys.